what we have now seen since the leak of the authentic draft opinion overturning Roe versus Wade is the left weaponizing this draft to attempt to, as early as next week, we're talking about next week, not next month, next week, codify Roe versus Wade into federal law.
It's purely a political play. They are trying to take the news of the day and jam their preferred policy preference on the abortion issue down the throats of the American people.
To do that, they will have to get rid of the legislative filibuster. So there's multiple moves here. They don't just need 51 votes to codify Roe and put Roe into law, into federal law. They would also need to do away. There would be no more filibuster in the U.S. Senate. There's no more for nominees. Now there would be no more for legislation.
They're trying to pressure the justices of the Supreme Court to change, because until that opinion is issued, it's not the law of the land. So that's number one. That's the first progress. Number two, the second prong of their attack is get Congress to legislate, as Jordan said, codify, if you will, the right to abortion recognized under Roe. Now, how we're countering that immediately, even though it's not, there is law being introduced on this, by the way. So it's going to come up now. It's going to come up as early as next week. We've already got a team of lawyers at the ACLJ looking at how that would be challenged in light of if this Justice Alito opinion does in fact become the law of the land. Number three, they are trying to pressure the executive branch by increasing court, what we call court packing, adding justices would give Joe Biden more nominees. They're going to use all of those weapons based on this opinion. That's the approach they're taking, and we're countering each and every one of those.
This kind of messaging from Elizabeth Warren is not going to convince, again, the voters that you've got to convince to somehow give Joe Biden more power legislatively. Take a listen.
I am angry. Angry and upset? Angry and upset. And the United States Congress can keep Roe versus Wade the law of the land. They just need to do it.
I've never seen you so angry. You seem to be...
This is what the Republicans have been working toward this day for decades.
Shock. Half the country's totally pro-life. Breaking news alert. A lot of people in the United States think that taking the life of an unborn child is wrong. And the Supreme Court, maybe now, if Justice Alito's opinion becomes law, is going to say just that and now return it to the states. That's the other thing they try to ignore.
So they've got their legislative approach, their protest pressure approach, and they're praising the leaker. There's even U.S. senators saying we shouldn't even find out who the leaker is. That's how, again, how little respect they have for the court when they so choose to have little respect for the court. If the court was upholding Roe versus Wade, they'd be praising the U.S. Supreme Court.
We could be looking at a clash that is unreal. But understand something. The saboteur has gotten what they wanted. They haven't gotten court packing yet, Jordan, but that's already being discussed. They haven't gotten the legislation through yet, but it's being introduced. They are trying to intimidate justices of the Supreme Court. That's not going to work.
When Joe Biden says this is why you got to fight so hard on this issue. Take a listen.
The idea that we're going to make a judgment that is going to say that no one can make the judgment to choose to abort a child based on a decision by the Supreme Court, I think goes way overboard.
They worship at the altar of abortion. We said that. That's basically what you're seeing happen right now. We said that the abortion laws have distorted the First Amendment. Justice Alito, in his draft opinion, says, yes, cites one of our cases, distorted the First Amendment because all the rules changed. But now you got the President of the United States saying, abort a child.
He's saying the word child. Now, again, that is the key, is they used to be so scared of even acknowledging that word because they wanted to use abortion distortion to make you think this is just a bunch of cells. It's nothing. It's just gobbledygook, and we're taking this out. That's not accurate scientifically anymore. But they're actually admitting to saying, you know what? People should have a judgment about whether they want to kill a kid or not. That's how he's putting this in. Yeah. That's how, again, how casually they feel about this procedure.
We've got to have a strategy. And we do have a strategy that we have in place to counter this. We're looking at the litigation aspect if they codify Roe. We're going to work with members of Congress to defeat this attempt to codify Roe. And 3, we're going to fight against any attempt at court backing if that's what they so choose.
Might get a court win, might, based on the draft opinion. And we're going to wait and hold on that. But before it even happens, they're trying to, again, use the nuclear option on the legislative filibuster to do anything possible to get this into federal law so that there's a federal right to what? Abortion on demand in all 9 months? That's what they would hope for. We've got to be ready to fight back at the federal level, at the state level, and this is all before we even know the opinion of the court.